Here on Making the Case, we don't just cover cases of the wrongfully convicted and move on. We're invested in these stories and the individuals at the center of them. So when there's a development in these cases, we want to bring you the latest, which brings us to the case of Kevin Strickland, who's been in prison for 43 years in Missouri for a crime of which not only his lawyers, but the prosecutors who convicted him admit he's innocent of. When prosecutors declared Mr. Strickland innocent, Missouri Governor Mike Parson said he might get around to looking at his pardon application. Well, he hasn't, even though he pardoned some 24 other people a week ago. And responding to a motion filed by Strickland's lawyers for his release last week, Missouri's Attorney General Eric Schmidt argued that Strickland is in fact guilty of the murders of which he was convicted and should not be released from prison. It's an unbelievable position to take when, one, he wasn't involved in the prosecution of this case and wouldn't know best, but everyone from local and federal prosecutors included have accepted that Mr. Strickland is actually innocent. Recently, I had the chance to talk about this case with Tricia Rojo Bushnell, the executive director of the Midwest Innocence Project, and who also represents Kevin Strickland.
Yes, so Mr. Strickland was convicted actually in 1979, and this was a triple homicide that had happened in Kansas City on the opposite side of the state, where one of the victims survived. When police came to the house, she immediately named two of the real perpetrators and said she couldn't identify the other two. There were 4 people total. One of those individuals was a man named Vincent Bell. After Mr. Strickland was convicted, Vincent Bell, just 3 months later, in his own plea in front of the court under oath, testified as to what happened, named all of the other perpetrators, and also said that Mr. Strickland was innocent. 2 of the other real perpetrators have come forward and also said that Mr. Strickland was innocent, but he was convicted because that sole victim who had survived ultimately later gave Mr. Strickland's name and identified him after a friend said, well, couldn't his description, the description she had given of one of the people she didn't know, couldn't that have matched Kevin Strickland? And what was important is she actually knew Kevin Strickland before the crime occurred and didn't name him at the time. So the prosecutor, in this case, we took this to the prosecutor. They began investigating that. The victim herself had come forward in 2009 and tried to recant. She had told multiple individuals that she had felt forced to make this identification. So when the Jackson County prosecutors reviewed not only her recantation, but also the evidence from the real perpetrators who had confessed, and the absolute corroborated plea agreement from Vincent Bell, and also new additional testing of fingerprints on the murder weapon that excluded Mr. Strickland and found that he was absolutely innocent. So they wrote this letter and a report saying he was innocent, and we filed to the Missouri Supreme Court asking him to release Mr. Strickland because he's actually innocent with the support of the prosecutors, and unfortunately that was denied earlier this month.
So what was the evidence that they used to convict him in the first place? Because I'm not hearing anything.
It was the identification made by this victim that didn't come until later, and that she now says is coerced. But that was essentially all they had. In the terms of the investigators at the time, they say the case rose and fell on her identification.
Wow. Okay, so why has Mr. Strickland's case been in the news this past week?
So he's been noticed, one, because the Missouri Supreme Court declined to hear his case, denied it without any reasoning or explanation, and 2, on May 31st, Governor Parson had pardoned 36 individuals, and Mr. Strickland's name was not on that list. And I think for many Missourians, there's a real concern or question when we know someone is innocent, how can they remain there, right? How is he still there when even the prosecutor thinks that he should come home?
It makes you wonder what the other cases were about if you did a comparison, because I mean, from what I'm hearing about Kevin Strickland's case, there's nothing that now points him to this crime. You have prosecutors who are saying he didn't do it. So I don't understand why he wasn't a part of that 36 that were pardoned. But let's move on to this bill that passed through the Missouri legislature, which is yet to be signed into law. Has the governor given a reason why he hasn't signed it, and is he expected to do so soon?
I don't think there's been any indication. So this bill included a number of other provisions of about criminal justice reform. I don't think that there's been any indication that he won't sign it, but certainly I think folks are waiting for all of these things to be passed. This bill, if signed, would go into effect on August 28th. So that even means that even if signed, the prosecutor couldn't file a motion for new trial for Mr. Strickland or for Lamar Johnson until August 28th.
So the governor, but he has another option. The governor could just pardon Mr. Strickland and Mr. Johnson. So what is the Missouri Attorney General's record on granting clemency applications to people who were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated?
Well, so in terms of the governor, you know, it is actually very unusual for a governor to pardon folks with significant convictions. One of our former clients, Rodney Lincoln, was someone who benefited from the clemency powers when Eric Greitens commuted his sentence on his last day in office. In terms of the Attorney General is the responding party to these state habeas petitions, one of which has been filed on behalf of Mr. Strickland and one of which is forthcoming for Lamar Johnson in these sort of circuit courts. So these processes take a really long time. They take years to get through and to appeal. And in regards to the Attorney General, I mean, traditionally what we've seen is that the Attorney General has fought all of these cases. There's actually a report in Injustice Watch that shows the Attorney General's office has fought every innocence case for the last 3 decades, the last 30 years. So, you know, there's the issue here is we just have sort of two people caught in the crossfires of the fact that we have a system that doesn't allow them just to be out, even though everyone recognizes they're innocent.
A system that's supposed to uncover the truth, right? And it has, and it's now being ignored. So what can those who want to help either Kevin or Lamar, what can they do?
Well, folks can absolutely go to our website and keep following information and learning more about it. There are a number of different organizations who have come out in support of both Lamar Johnson and Kevin Strickland. You know, lending your voice to them, lending your voice to us is always helpful. And there's also been a GoFundMe started for Mr. Strickland, who, you know, he's spent 42 years incarcerated, and he and Lamar Johnson both, when they return to the free world, they individuals who are exonerated.
All right, attorney and executive director of the Midwest Innocence Project, Tricia Rojo Bushnell, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much.